We have less than 2 months to go until the federal election. The writ has not been dropped, but parties are getting into full election campaign mode. And to talk more about that, in the studio, we have with us LISA RAITT, Deputy Leader of the Opposition. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us on CTV News Channel. Really appreciate it.
I'm really happy to be here. Thanks.
Great. So let's make you start with this video.
Yeah.
Now, many are saying that the fact that Conservatives had to pull back the former Prime Minister with this video for this campaign trail, taking some money for Andrew Scheer, they question, is Andrew Scheer right now not being able to pull in voters and the funds he requires to do? And we need the former Prime Minister to do the job.
No, everything's going as a plan. Mr. Harper, the former Prime Minister, has always been very upfront and has always been part of our fundraising over the past number of years. This is the last one that's come out, the latest one. It's done in a video way, and it's just to make sure that people know now is the time to donate. We're going into the campaign, and quite frankly, right now, the Liberals are running around the country on the taxpayers' dime, making billions of dollars in announcements. And we're going to have to be able to fight that. So we're going to need to have that war chest. And if the former Prime Minister can help us raise money, he's more than happy to do so. And I'm sure it's going to work, because if you look at our fundraising numbers, we continuously outmatch the Liberals and the NDP.
So I come back to what I was asking you. Are you nervous about the fact that Andrew Scheer cannot get in the support that he really needs, and we need Stephen Harper? And what would you say to how Liberals are attacking right now by saying that you're going to take politics and the nation back to Stephen Harper time?
Well, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, look what we're dealing with right now. So I represent Milton, Ontario. And when I go to the doors in Milton, they want to talk about life affordability, and they want to talk about getting ahead themselves and their kids getting ahead and their parents doing well. That's the focus of what the election should be on. When we start getting into these other matters, like we're talking about today, for example, that the Liberals have lost a candidate, and we talk about the fact that Mr. Harper has done a video, they don't want to talk about that. They want to hear about issues, and they want to hear about how a party is going to help them get forward. So maybe it's because we're not into the real campaign right now that we're seeing this mud being thrown around, but it's not something that the average Canadian voter wants to see. And that's why we're going to continue to stick to our message at the doors and let the rest of this kind of froth around. But that's not what Canadians want to hear.
OK, speaking of issues, now we've seen in the past what's happened the past few days. The Liberals came out with this video of Andrew Scheer that dates back to 2005. Many are saying, what sort of a strategy is this? And it was about, of course, gay marriage. We've had Andrew Scheer speak about the subject just yesterday, about abortion, about gay marriage. But critics are pointing out, it seems as though Andrew Scheer fell into the trap of the Liberals where this subject is concerned.
Not really. I mean, what trap was it? The reality is our policy has always been really clear. In 2018, we reaffirmed, we had a discussion on the floor of our policy convention about whether or not we were going to remove this particular policy, that a government, a Conservative government, would not reopen the abortion debate. It was soundly defeated. And at the same time, in 2016, we changed the definition of marriage so that it wasn't just traditional marriage. So we've dealt with those issues. We've done that in the past. And the Liberals pull out this really old video from a speech a long time ago, but our position has always been clear, and my leader clarified it. But I'd also point out one other thing. If you want to go back in history, we learned today that Prime Minister Trudeau said in an interview to CBC in 2011 that he's very much opposed to abortion. So where are we going to start talking about that? And if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. And quite frankly, as a woman, really tired of all these guys having conversations about an issue that I'm the one that makes a choice on.
That's correct. And of course, talking about history, you can always point fingers at Ralph Goodale as well when it comes to the issue of gay marriage. But I want to ask you this. The fact that it seemed Andrew Scheer was on the defensive, and that's why I asked this question about him falling directly into the Liberals' trap when it came to this subject. Because the fact is, we also have SNC-Lavalin. Right? And many would say the Liberals were trying to change the tune over here by bringing in these subjects. But somewhere do you believe the opposition has also failed to keep that subject alive and keep it mainstream? After all, the Prime Minister was held unethical where SNC-Lavalin was concerned.
He was found to have broken the law.
Correct.
Right.
So, and the opposition hasn't done enough on it.
But if we're going to follow this theory of falling into a trap, is it a trap within a trap within a trap? Because now it's been shown that the Liberal leader, the Prime Minister, has said, I'm Catholic and I'm very much opposed to abortion. So did he know that he had said that in the past? This is where this all gets a little bit fuddled and muddled, because Canadians don't want to hear about this. They're going to tune out and they're going to say a pox in all your houses, politicians. So let's get back to the issues and let's start talking about what matters to Canadians, affordability.
OK. My last question to you is about what's really happening within the other party, the NDP, for example. We had Jagmeet Singh come out and say that if there is a conservative government, he would not be a minority government, he will not be supporting the Conservatives. So do we have a plan B here, Conservatives?
I don't know what his plan A is. I mean, I heard what Jagmeet said. I also would point out that in Milton, I still don't have a candidate running against me carrying the NDP banner. So that's
they are in trouble. They don't have so many candidates right now.
So it's kind of hard, I would say, for the leader to say, I will not talk to anybody else when you haven't even put a slate together yet for your 338 across the country. You got to be in the game. And I'm hoping that the NDP put their team together and move forward, and we have them as part of the conversation this coming election.
All right. This has been a great conversation. Lisa Raitt, a Deputy Leader of the Opposition. Appreciate you coming to CTV News Channel and spending your time with us. Thank you.
Really good. Thanks.